So the anagram for the 4 constellations that are Hu, or the Celestial Sphinx, you can create late, right? So type late into the Latin converter, you get 0. So I thought I'll set that a bit further and see what actual 0 means in Latin. So I just came up with the first website. You can go to any and look what 0 means in Latin. So I clicked on it, and then I got ISO plants. How iconic to religion is that? Sowing and plants. And I beget, I bring forth, I produce. That's a bit coincidental for, you know, being creation. So I thought, well, let me just see what beget means, you know, the actual definition. And then this just blew me away even more, especially of a man bring a child into existence by the process of reproduction. So the 4 letters that are the creation constellations of the Celestial Sphinx, spelled late, and then late means to sow, to create, to produce. Now this just blew me away, just absolutely blew me away. So this is what I'm sharing with you guys. Welcome to Black Sheep Researcher, where we search for the truth, outcast style. I just love saying that. What I'm going to talk about today is, you've heard me mention it in a few of my videos, if you're observant, and that was about the Celestial Sphinx. Now, I looked into this. I found it by accident, to be honest. I was looking into Tartria and the Griffin, as you've seen in my other videos, and I came across the Celestial Sphinx, and it just like resonated with me. So I thought, I'll start looking into that. And when I started looking into it and seeing the different names it was called, see, the Celestial Sphinx, as I will get onto in my video, is also known as Hu. Now, Hu, primordially, because I will talk about it further on, is an Egyptian god. Now, he got changed in levels, because Upper and Lower Egypt, when the gods, they went in reverence, didn't they, and Hu was in power. And Hu is supposed to be the creation. He's supposed to be the breath, the word, that all life came from. Now, you spell it H-U, Hu, but we say it as Hu, H-W-H-O, but it's actually like that with the breath. So that's actually Hu. And that's the creation breath. Well, that's the Celestial Sphinx. And what I found just blew me away. Some people believe in coincidence. Some people think there's no such thing as coincidence. Well, in this, I don't know what to call it, but I just found so much interesting things and connected things that it was, when you really, really love researching something and everything, you're just going like, wow, because you didn't know that. This is what I was doing in this. And it's just brilliant. So as you can see, there was a long intro, 7 minutes or something like that, and I just wanted to instead of putting pictures above my head or whatever I usually do, I just wanted you to get a feel of the stuff I was researching and give you a little, like a taster as such into what I'm actually looking into, with words and writing and descriptions and that. And I'll just go through what I've gone through an introduction, and then I'll just add things to that, because I've got a few more things that, because I made that separate, that it's interesting to know. And I've actually got loads of notes, so I'm going to have to go for my notes as well, because there's just too much. So you might be asking, who is God? The creator, the Celestial Sphinx. Who is the God, the creator, the Celestial Sphinx? Now that's point, because sometimes a lot of people ask themselves who is God? And now his name is Hu. It makes a bit more sense, doesn't it? Because you think, who is God? Oh, I'd like to know who God is. Well, you just said it. Who? It's so funny, because I've been getting friends with it, and I'm saying, well, would you like to know who God is? And they're like, oh yeah, we'd like to know who God is. Well, so I've just said who. And it's not just the Egyptians who said it was Hu. A lot of religions and civilizations said it was Hu. It just came out of nowhere. I was doing some research a while ago, my researcher partner, and she mentioned this to me, and sometimes you just miss things, don't you, when you're going backwards and forwards, and I regret not seeing it earlier, but it could be it was the right time to do it now, so it's all good. We found it in the end. So, like I said, you can read the comments at the beginning, but I'll just go through it. It says, in the heavens, the Celestial Sphinx is caught in the art of creation. His first breath, the first word of God, it sounds like the harmonics of a cosmic breeze. His second breath is expelled as, again, the sounds and the name of the ancient Egyptian god Hu, but it's actually pronounced Hu, and then Hu again. It's like Hu, but Hu, meaning authoritative utterance, the word of God, the word of creation is revealed. So we all have our little niches and things for our research, and mine's ancient civilizations throughout the board. I just love history, because like we've always said, if you find out your future through your past. Now, a lot of things, as we know, there's that many countless battles and wars, and the winner always writes the history, so stuff gets lost, stuff gets mixed, stuff gets borrowed. So it's finding out what the history is, because obviously I could be saying this now, I'm telling you, and someone else could think, oh no, that's totally wrong, my research led me down another path. Listen, we're both right, we're both wrong. I just follow what my perspective leads to, and yours is the same. Everyone's a winner. It's all about belief and things like that, and it's all good. So as the Celestial Sphinx continues to expel the breath of life in the heavens are created, the Celestial Sphinx, it is the creator and the architect of the universe. So it's a case of, that is why in Egypt the Sphinx is about everywhere. Obviously you've got the main Sphinx, which could have been a lion and that, but we'll get more onto this. But it's everywhere, and it's not just Egypt, because what I'm getting to about are this Celestial Sphinx. Oh, I'll talk in a minute. I'll just follow my notes and then I know where I'm up to. I'll go backwards and forwards. So like even in the Bible, John 1 verses 12, in the beginning there was the Word, and the Word was with God. So it's like the breath. So this is what, I'm showing you the links. So the breath of who, which is the Sphinx, our creation in essence. The first shall be the last, and the last shall be first. Mark 10 verse 31. Now, when the Celestial Sphinx was actually on the horizon, meeting, the equator, the horizon where it meets the earth and the heaven, it was facing the Sphinx. So, and that was roughly, through my research, and I'll put links so you can all read what I've been researching, was about 14,300 BCE, so a very long time ago. This was talked about as who. It's not just, just a couple of thousand years. It's actually, so ancient. So if you're thinking about what is a Celestial Sphinx, now this is what got me straight away, and I had this on my internet, and I'll show you the link. Actually, I'll show you now what I was looking at. Just put this down. I had this on the internet for a while, and this is the Celestial Sphinx. You can see it actually in the pictures I put it in, and I'll put the link as well. But that's the Celestial Sphinx. Now what the Celestial Sphinx is, it's the four animals that make the Celestial Sphinx, or the cherub, or the cherubim, or the cherubim. Now they are Taurus, as you can see, Taurus the bull, Leo the lion, and Ophiuchus. Now in the ancient times, that used to be known as an eagle, but in the modern times it's a serpent, and it's also the serpent holder, and it's like a man holding a serpent. But that sits just above Scorpio. But this is the key four animals that make up the Celestial Sphinx, and obviously Aquarius. Now that is a man. Some believe it's a woman, but in the ancient times it was a man. So that's what I had on the internet search engine for ages, and I just kept looking at it different days, because it was interesting and I wanted to look into the Sphinx. But one day I was talking to a friend, I looked back and it just changed. I looked at it and thought, I saw Leo the lion, I was thinking, could any religions fit into this? So straight away I looked in, Lion of Judah, the tribe of Judah. I thought, no way, that's just one of those things. So then I thought, well, I know Taurus, the bull, because there's Baal and other forms of worship to the bull. So I thought, well, that's two. So I thought, oh, what's in the eagle? And we know the reverence to the eagle through the Egyptians and other, like Horus and different things like that. And I was like, wow, that's three. So now it was Aquarius, the water bird, or the water carrier, whatever you want to call it. And I thought, what could I fit into that? What would fit that? So then I looked, and then I came up with Dagon, or Dagon, whatever you pronounce it, and he's known as the fish god. So then that connected all four signs of who all the ancient civilizations, roughly around that time and throughout the history, have created religions from these four constellations that basically is who the Celestial Sphinx and is the source of creation. So that is where I'm going with this video. I'm basically showing how I've connected all four animals in these constellations to religions, to cultures, and how revered they are. That can't be too much of a coincidence, can it? So I then was talking about, so which four animals make the constellation that create the Celestial Sphinx? Taurus the bull, but that could be an ox, because it's not far off, in the same type of family, isn't it? Leo the lion, Aquarius the man, an Ophiuchus or Ophiuchus, the serpent, the eagle. Now they make the Sphinx, as I've just described. I'm going slightly off script, but I've got that much notes everywhere. I'm like, how can I put it all together so people can understand what's going in this brain? Now, what blew me away straight away is I just looked. I was looking at Leo at the top, as I showed you, and then you got Taurus, Aquarius, and the eagle. And I'm like, how I come up with this, I just do not know. And next minute I thought, could the words of the initials, you know, like Leo the lion, L, Aquarius, A, T for Taurus, E for eagle. I thought, could that make something? It spells late, an anagram. It's late. This was just crazy. I just can't believe it. So anyway, still gets me now. Now you've seen like the anagram, and I typed the letters into the Latin converter. So I always do, when I find weird things or things that interest me, I always convert them to Latin, just because that is what the elites like to use, and a lot of ancient texts and stuff are in Latin. And it's also been described as the devil's language just because of its, you know, symbolism, and why they stopped teaching it in more schools, because they don't want us to know the truth, all the truth and all these things which Latin are. So it's always a good thing to try and pick up some, you know, key few words or whatever you know about it. So you can see the video. I've actually put in, I've just screen mirrored it off my phone just to show you how I did it, and I just typed in late into Latin converter. It gave me zero, S-E-R-O. So then I wanted to know the meaning of that in Latin, so then I went through, typed that in, and it came up. And the words and the things it give me are just mind-blowing. It's just too much of a coincidence, this. It means, zero means in Latin, I sow, I plant. Now that's basically the seed of creation. Not only are all religions coming from these animals connected in some way, because you can connect any religion to these 4 signs. The first letters in an anagram tell you it's I plant, I sow, seed to creation, to create. I was like, I was took back. And then, like, you know, when you had to give your options, like the first thing and then the second one it came up was I beget or I beget. I typed beget for some reason. And then that means bring forth, to produce. And I was like, no way. And then, as you know, I typed in beget, and it means to bring into existence. It means to bring something into existence. So not only is the word of God, as in this video, who, to create, the 4 constellations, creating religion, the 4 letters of those religions in an anagram spell late, which, as we know in Latin, comes to create, to produce, to bring into existence. So you're getting every level are talking about creation from the Celestial Sphinx, who. That was just too much for me. I was thinking, oh my god, how long am I going to be doing this research on this? Because I've had it for weeks, and then it's only the last week or so when I looked at things totally different. I took a step back basically, and then it just caught me eye, and I just went from there, and it's just snowballing. This is what interesting as well. On one of the sites I was looking for research, it showed you who in hieroglyphs. I included the pictures, but it spelled who and then who again, double eagle. The sign of the double eagle is a helix, a DNA helix. Now, that's just, you know what I mean, I've not found any more evidence of that, so you have to take it, you know, chest value, you know, face value as it in essence. But it just sent me over the top. So the Sphinx means to connect or bind together. Right, that is what the actual word means. It means to bind together or to connect. Now, a lot of people think the Sphinx means enigma, a puzzle. That was just another word, meaning because they didn't know the secrets of the Sphinx, it was an enigma. That was from the Greek, but actually means to connect, to bind. Now, this got me thinking, is a double helix actually not DNA, but to combine heaven and earth, as the Celestial Sphinx was on the horizon to connect the heavens, the sky, to the earth? Is this what the DNA helix is? The two strands combining into one to make us. Our soul is the heaven, and man, us, is the earth. That was just how I was looking at it. Now, you know, you can like that idea or not. I just thought it was fascinating how his name was creation and had the helix in. Now, what was interesting as well is Hu in Arabic means God. So let's add man to the Hu, and obviously we get human, or God-man if you put it correctly. You know, God is Hu, it's God-man. But as all we've been told throughout history, aren't we made in God's image? So even the word Hu in Arabic means God-man, human. Too much. And it ain't just the Arabic that it's in. And I'll put the website that got some of this stuff off, because it goes into great detail. Different religions like the Druids, obviously the Hebrew, that which I'm going to talk about now. The Hopi Indians, they have a word for it. Even now, see, I don't know pronunciation probably, so what's, you know, that Yahweh or Yahshua or whatever it is. So pardon me if I get that wrong. But it's even the Hu, the HU in it. And so, like I said, I found this site and then I'm looking on it. It says even in Hebrew there is like a hymn that they sing at the Jewish Passover, and it's called Adir Hu, and the meaning is God is mighty. So even the Jew people sing Adir Hu, God is mighty. And like I said, it's not just in the Egyptians as well as Hu, the creation. You have, like I said, you have it in, let me have a quick look now. Just put it down. While I'm talking about it, I may as well get it out. Oh, I've got so much. So this is the site I'm talking about, and I'll include it. And basically, it talks about how the different religions use you. Like I said, Egypt, Hu is the power of the spoken word. He personifies the authority of utterance. So it is said that Hu is the word of God. So you know that. Then you got Sufi, which it's S-U-F-I in Sufism. Hu or Hua is the pronoun used with Allah, an Arabic word for God, and is used as a name of God. The Hopi and the Sunni nations, Native American Indians, dance rituals, Hu, also known as Hu, and then Hua, Hua. And Tithys is the Kashina. The Kashina is the life force that fills the universe. This is a sacred dance called the Hu dance. Hebrew I've just mentioned. And then you got that new religion in America called Akanka. It talks about the Hu, the Celtic people. Hu was a spiritual word. The god Hu was all ruling divinity of Western Celtic mythology. So, you know, it's in Tibet, the cosmology which is attached to this is surely very old, and throughout constitutes on a dualist basis from the breath which streamed out over the creator that emerged two symbols, Hu, Hu, and progressively the entire universe, Tibetan religion, from the book of the, you know, from that fella's book. So it ain't just me, the black sheep researcher, making this up. I've not seen it before. Like I said, I did come across it months ago in research, and shamefully it just didn't compute with me at the time. It didn't recognise, you know, it didn't resonate. Oh my god. So you can see how big this is. Personally for me, it might not be for you, but we're talking about creation here, and the Celestial Sphinx. So yeah, and how I got to this was I was looking into Tartria, and I was talking about how the flag, a griffin, untied Sumeria to the god Anzu. Now do I change my mind and say Tartria, the griffin is the Celestial Sphinx, because it's all these 4 constellations on the yellow flag. Would that even make more sense? Now I might have to start and do another video and look into that because I'm like, yeah, it does make more sense than the answer, even though I showed you the link between the DNA strand again in the Scythia Gold. So now you're looking at it with a new twist, because I've researched more. It's like, do I stand by what I research? And I do at the time, but now I'm like, well, it's shifting, and that's how it should be. You should never stay still. So then I talked about in the pictures, gods and religion. Now the cherubim, which is Kerubim, and then you have the cherubim. Now they're an order of angels described in the ancient texts as a combination of two or more often, or more than often, 4 creatures, including man. Now you've seen these in all religious texts, and ancient civilizations have them as statues. I think, is it the Lassau? Or Lassam, my pronunciation is awful. You know, the Sumerian, where they have a head of a man and it's on the wing. That's the type of thing that the cherubim and the cherubim are. And now I can see things clearer, clearer. It makes more sense. But this is in regard to Ezekiel's 4 creatures. Now, if you look into Ezekiel and his 4 creatures, they are the Celestial Sphinx of the who. They are the eagle. They are man. They are the bull and the lion, all heads. And I'll show you the pictures. They're in the beginning. You've seen them. But that got me as well. The 4 creatures from the prophet. So, and there is the 4 creation. It's basically creation. And God. So is that why it's resembles like an angel type of thing? You know, it's the purity. Now, if you look in religious texts, the 4 faces of the Messiah, which, like I said, is included, are the same as the Sphinx, the eagle, the lion, man. You know what I mean? So, and whatever I've left out, you know what I mean? I've got so much in my head, I just can't get it out. Now, I have to change over books here. See, I don't have a plan. I just write down, and whatever I can grab it to nearest, I just go with. But hey, I wouldn't be me, would I? I'm never organised. So also I was just looking into that, obviously from the 4 creatures, the Messiah, and then 4 creatures, and also Jesus. Some people say it's the same. Some say Jesus is his son, and then you've got the other words that you can describe him. But Jesus, in most of religions and you know, through the Gospels, is known as the lion, the ox, the man, and the eagle. Now the ox, like I said at the beginning, is no much different than a bull. So it can be perceived as a bull. So I'm not like way stretching there. So like the 4 living creatures in the opening of the prophet Ezekiel 1:10, the lion symbolises supreme strength, kingship, the man highest in intelligence. Well, we're supposed to be, aren't we? The ox, lowly service. The eagle, heavenly lightness, mystery, divinity. And that ties then into the Bible and different things. In Matthew we see the Messiah is known as the king, the lion. In Mark we see Jehovah, the servant of the ox. In Luke we see the Son of Man, the man. In John we see the Son of God as the eagle. And all these 4 aspects are to give the full truth. Now obviously I'm not really into the Bible and the verses and reading it, so if again I'm out of order, I apologise, but you can get where I'm coming from just that. Make sure I'm not losing things, just for notes everywhere. So Ezekiel, so you have Ezekiel's 4 creatures, as I said. Now in religions, right, I've done that. Now, and then I showed you, I did the pictures. Basically, I wanted to break them down into parts, like Leo, the lion, the constellation, and what things in religion and culture is this. Now, I could have been here all day. I could have made this film hours and hours, but people's time's precious. So I just put so many pictures in each one. And if I got some wrong, it's just because I just left them out. I could have picked any, to be honest. Now, you look in the Leo constellation in religion and in culture. So you got the line of Judah, as I mentioned at the beginning. You got a Epidemic from Nubia, you know, the ancient word for, you know, down the Egyptian Nile. You got Bast and you got Sekhmet. They're the eyes of Ra. All these have lion heads. You got Mahis, an ancient Egyptian god. I think it was for like destruction and war and God, the usual things that they have. I've written it down somewhere, but I don't want to be piling through my notes on screen as I'm filming. And then obviously you got the Inanna. She has the lion at her feet, but also her symbol is the lion. You got the Chinese guardian lions, but we know them as food dogs. They're guarding the palaces. They're lions. In alchemy, you've got the green lion, which represents gold and the sun. So that is like one of the highest symbols in alchemy. And then you have the god Vishnu. Its avatar is a lion called Narashima. So you can just see from them few that my point out is all these religions are using these animals. Now you can just say, oh well, because of it's a lion, its strength and that. Oh well, that's why they picked it. But in my belief, all the ancients looked to the heavens. They named the stars. They said, Leo the lion, Taurus the bull, and so on. So this is where they got their inspiration for these religions, in my opinion, and in culture. And also I'm going to add something little to this that I've done a video on that makes even more sense to me now. So you get to Ophiuchus. That's my pronunciation, so if it's way off, just ignore it, you know what I'm like. The constellation is the eagle, the serpent, and obviously the modern one it's a man holding a snake in his hands. So obviously you got two things that can go with this, eagle and the serpent. So obviously the one that stands out straight away is Horus. No need to say he's from Egypt, everyone knows who Horus, the god, is. The presidential flag. The eagle holding, like the banner, but that could be, in essence, the snake too. Presidential flag. The Garuda, and that is an ancient bird that Vishnu used as his vehicle. Apollo space program, the Apollo 2, eagle. All these places reference on eagles and different things in their own right, but also I believe because of the references to the Celestial Sphinx and the god Who. Well, obviously we've got eagles in Rome. The Roman, oh my God, how I forget these things and I'm like reeling them out. But you know what I mean. They walked into battle with it, the double eagle. But also there's the double eagle or the eagle on top of the Saint Peter's Basilica in Rome. Then you've got the Hittite eagle seal that was then used for other things. It's in my video. And the Freemasons level 32 and 33 have the double eagle, the black eagle. Now the serpent bit, you got Apep. He circles the earth, the snake. You've also got another word, is it Uberus, I think is pronounced. You got the Kulkan, the Mayan god, the serpent feathered god, or something, the temple from, if you remember. Now, I didn't put this in the video, but I just remembered it after I finished it, and I was so crammed I didn't want you guys to look at pictures for so long. But also, you remember in America and the US, there is the circle mound that follows the stars. There's another essence of the serpent. And then the Aborigines have the rainbow serpent. So there's just a few, and no doubt you guys being so learned as yourselves, you will know a lot more that could be included in that. But it's just to show, just a guide to show you where I was coming from. Then you got Taurus. Now you got the Sumerian bull of heaven. That was, people more know that for the epic battle it had with Gilgamesh. Then you've got Baal worship for obvious reasons. The interesting link here is in chemtrailing, the barium and the aluminium spell Baal. So there's another link. Obviously, the Minoans from Greece. Then you have the famous Minotaur. And India worship the bull. And then I could go on. And then you've got the statues, the gold statues of the bronze. I don't know if they're made of bronze, but the bronze statues in certain bull, buildings of the bull. More connections. Now you got Aquarius, the water sign. Now this is what I said at the beginning, what could fit into here. Now you got Dagon, the fish god, and all the ties that has with Christianity, with the hat, the mitre, being the fish. And then the symbol of Christianity, the early symbol was a fish. So it's just too much. Too much. Just say it's a coincidence. And then I just thought out loud to myself: is what about Aquaman new film? Isn't he all in his suit? Isn't he like a waterman, a fish man? Is this in reference to these guys? Dig on. Just a thought. You can say no, but it's just an idea that I had. Now and then it got to me as well as, what about baptisms? I know they say it's about rejuvenation and connection and washing your sins away and different things like that, but is this to God or is this to dig on? Now that was just an idea that I had on that. But also, before I forget, I did a video called The Greater Consciousness. Now this, before I even looked into this, it's on my video list, quite far down my list. And the tale of this is, I went to sleep. Well, obviously we all sleep. Some have insomnia, but you know what I mean. I went to sleep and I woke up. So without the usual first things that you wake up with, I went, the SWAT sticker, 4 brainwaves, to create creation in the middle, being the pineal gland. So I did a video on that. Now that makes more sense to me now. Because like Brahma script, the Om, you can meditate doing who, and it's everywhere. Like I said, some of these, there is a video I've just put on not on my personal playlist, but my playlist, it's called Who, and you can see a few things in that for meditation and chanting. But it's crazy now. You think about the swastika. It's one of the oldest symbols on Earth, and some say it's to do with good luck and all that. I believe it. At the time, it was the 4 brainwaves, the 4 creation brainwaves to activate our pineal gland. That is not far off. Basically saying the 4 creatures of the Celestial Sphinx, 4, and who, the creator, in the middle. That, and when I realised that, because obviously we know they're the Nazis and they change it, but we know that it's a religious symbol, the swastika, throughout Asia and even, well, it's basically everywhere. So now I'm looking at it in a different point as, maybe it is the 4 brainwaves that create the one wave that connects us to God, to the greater consciousness, like I've done in my video. What if these, the swastika with its 4, where it meets in one, but it's got these 4 arms, is not the Celestial Sphinx. I know they said the Big Dipper is, is the swastika, but I'm not looking at it like that. I'm just in another way that each of these 4 constellations meet in the middle at who, the creation. Basically, they came from who and came out and branched out, just like life. So this is my video on the Celestial Sphinx. You've heard me say I'm researching the Celestial Sphinx, and people, well, that sounds interesting, but not too much into it. It blew me away, this, and will it stop? I don't think it will. But I just wanted to show you guys what I've just done on research. So the end, like the summary of it is, what is this actually meaning? Well, it doesn't matter what I mean, because that's for me. This could mean a lot to different people, or it could be class, oh, you're so wrong. I'm just showing you where the evidence points to. This is how I perceive them. Everything, life is just perspective. God made us to see things in our own way. And to me, this is my way of seeing the Celestial Sphinx, or who is the creation, the breath. Because remember, even in the Bible, God spoke and created. You know what I mean? His words came first. His voice, no different than. Was it borrowed? It's got to be borrowed, because these guys were thousands of years before the even Bible was made. So if you're a researcher, how religion, all religions, are mismatched. I'll borrow this, we'll borrow this, and put together to suit their beliefs. Well, this is taking it back to the one, the creator, who. Now, am I saying who is God? Well, it's the voice of God. I'm spiritual, but I'm not like, I believe in God. I do believe in God as the creator, but not in any religions, you know what I mean? And this just meant so much to me. This stuff are connected through just this initials to all the religions that came under. So that's all I'm saying in this video. The Celestial Sphinx, who is creation. It created most religions. And you'll see it everywhere. Most religions and all basically life from this. So I like I said, I've just tied it into the brainwaves for the Swastika being creation. That could be frequencies. These could be energies. The 4 energies that create who, or come from who, create us and the universe. Because we've all seen the things like the 4 corners of the earth and this, all with 4. It's just mind blowing. I mean, before we go, even on one of the sites, and I'll include this as well. Oh, dear me. So it's like 1, symbol of unity, primacy, and the beginning in all languages. 2, first number that can be divided from itself. It symbolises division and difference. 3, divine perfection, Trinity. 3 also refers to the necessary dimensions for physicality. 4, the number of creation. The 3 of God plus the 1, a new beginning. 4 celestial stars. Constellations, who in the middle, and then number 5, 4 add 1, creation plus a new beginning equals 5, grace of favour. And now is that how all us were created? So you can see where I'm coming from. I've really enjoyed this. I couldn't believe the stuff it's connected, and there's more stuff to come out of it, but I just didn't want to do hours and hours of talk or break it down into 4 videos, because like I said, people's time's precious and they've only got so much time. So I just wanted to cram it into this video so you can get a taste of what the Celestial Sphinx means to me, and hopefully it means similar to you guys. It basically is creation. Now there's people better than me in astrology and different things. It'd be, no, I'm just pointing out from my research where it took me, because as we know, I could have 100 people in a room showing what I've just researched. I would have, yes, I believe, no, I'm not sure, I'm on the fence, and so on. It's all perspective. The truth is perspective. You can say the truth never lies. Well, it can, because people's perspective of the truth varies. So I hope you enjoyed it. I really enjoyed this, and obviously I'm going to keep coming back and keep sharing with you guys what I found. I hope you liked the video. It meant a lot to me, this one. I appreciate you watching, and all the positive comments and the negative ones. It's all opinions, but it spurs me on. So catch you again.